Ahuru, everyone. Welcome. You are tuned into a special live episode of the Reparations in Action podcast and FM radio show. My name is Brendan McCoy. I am a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee, and today I am hosting Reparations in Action, which broadcasts weekly on Black Power 96.3 FM in St. Petersburg, Florida. Reparations in Action, also known as White Lies Shattered, is a program of white solidarity with Black power. We believe reparations to African people is the key question of our times and is one that demands action on the part of European or white people. I want to encourage everyone who's on with us today. Please share this program. Share it on Facebook. Send the YouTube link to all your friends. We want to get a lot of people tuned in right now for this important discussion that is building support for Black Power 96. So share, tag, message your friends, tune in. As always, I want to start by saluting our leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the African People's Socialist Party for leading the African Revolution and developing the theory of African internationalism and the understanding of the colonial mode of production. African internationalism is the theory and worldview of the African working class that guides the struggle for African liberation, and which we credit for all of the understandings and analysis provided on this podcast. I also want to salute President of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, Ona Zine Yeshitela, for her incredible vision and work. And I want to salute Black Power 96 Radio, where this show is aired and recorded for our podcast. Black Power 96 is not just explaining the world, but changing it. You can get the app for Black Power 96 on Google Play or the Apple App Store and listen wherever you are located. Black Power 96 Radio is a listener-funded community radio station and is currently in the middle of a Fight Back fund drive. And today, we have a goal to raise $1,000 for this incredible radio station and the station's Fight Back, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. So please go to blackpower96.org/donate and right now to contribute to today's goal. We've got some incredible guests, and right now I'm honored to be joined by my co-host, chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee, and author of Overturning the Culture of Violence, Penny Hess.
Uhuru, Brendan. It's so great to be here, and it's always very exciting and important to do everything that we can to expose the world to Black Power 96.
Yes.
And just to talk about how important it is and to support it, to actually come down and support it. And I just want to say also that we really appreciate Black Power 96 because it is the place, among other things, where Reparations in Action has aired for many, many years, and where you can hear the voice of the African working class and Chairman Omali Yeshitela and so much more.
Absolutely. And kind of on that note, Black Power 96 is a Black community radio station. And the mission of Black Power 96, as defined on the website, is to defend the human and civil rights of the African community through our educational and cultural programming, to provide professional radio broadcasting training, and to promote economic development and self-reliance in the African community. And like you said, this radio program right now, Reparations in Action, is all about white solidarity with African people and the African liberation struggle. Can you talk a little bit about why it is so important for white people to support Black Power 96?
Well, yes, I think that's a really good question. And I think that first of all, I would just say it's an amazing radio station with the best music, the most unique music of the African working class, real music all the time or much of the time, and then also unique and incredible programming that you don't hear anywhere else. The
Absolutely.
voice of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the voice of the African working class. And it is a station that's loved by the community, the African community in St. Pete, that's heard, in much of the city. And, it's just really popular. And it's a station of the people. It's not something corporate, and it's not even something like the bigger alternative radio stations, which some of which are great, but this is unique, it is special. And I think that when we, look at this whole question of free speech and the right of the African working class to be able to put out the world as they see it, it is also a very educational and deepening experience for white people to be able to understand the needs and aspirations of the African working class itself. So it's, just call on everybody listening, check out Black Power 96. There is a website, Black Power 96.3 FM, and it is, you'll be hooked.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say some incredible music that you will not hear anywhere else. I feel like a lot of artists kind of get their start at Black Power 96, and so much educational programming that you're not going to get anywhere else either. And it is an incredible honor to even be on here and to be able to speak on Black Power 96. So thank you so much for that, Chairwoman Penny, kind of giving that overview on why it's so important that, that European or white people contribute, to this radio station. And so if you're listening, go to blackpower96.org/donate and be a part of it, contribute and help up, be a part of Black Power 96's fight back. So now I am excited to bring up our guests for today's program. One of the members of the Black Power 96 grants team, Sandra Forrest, and the station manager of Black Power 96, Mr. Eddie Maltzby. Uhuru, welcome you two.
Uhuru, everybody.
Uhuru, Brandon.
Uhuru, Mr. Eddie.
So Mr. Eddie.
It is an honor to have you on. I just want to start by asking, so Mr. Eddie, you are the station manager of Black Power 96 Radio. Keeping everything moving over there. And you are also the host of 3 different shows. Could you tell us a little bit about that and about what Black Power 96 Radio means to the African community?
Yes, Brendan. First of all, let me appreciate you inviting me on here to this program and this discussion about BP 96. BP 96 is not an ordinary radio station. It means so many different things to so many different people. It's not only just here in St. Petersburg, Florida, but it's worldwide. This station has actually launched other artists to professionalism, if you will, to other signed deals. K. Sway, who's a local artist here in St. Petersburg, or was a local artist, got signed by Bentley Records, a big-time record company, with Rick Ross. So it means much to local artists, because we have a show that comes on called The Local Going Global every Friday at 5 p.m. And this is where local artists, no matter where they are in the country, can get their music heard and played. They can enter a contest called The Local Going Global, where artists are sending in their music, and I got music in as far as Africa. I got music from Canada, Donna and Shaka from Montreal, Canada. I got music in from San Diego, California. Siemens, so many artists sending their music. Kenny Ken in Houston, Texas. The list goes on and on. R&B Mo from Atlanta, just too many to name. But this means that to them. To other local people here in St. Petersburg, Florida, it means a whole lot. School buses coming by. When we raise funds like we are down the middle of a fund drive, I had a school bus come in, the whole entire school bus, and the kids got off of the school bus, and I'm sure they were led by the bus driver who listens to Black Power 96 in the morning time, and they all came in, and all of them had like change in dollars and just dropped a lot of money off to BP 96. And for kids, that's incredible for them that's the future, and that's incredible. And then for other people that are locked up in jail and prisons, and nursing homes, hospital. Good Morning Gospel comes on one of my shows that I do, and it's very inspiring and powerful. If you love gospel music, this is the number one station for gospel anywhere in the country. You cannot beat the gospel and the inspiration that's giving to people. I had a brother that was in jail, Pinellas County Jail, called during the fund drive, and he called in collect from jail, not prison, but from county jail. And he said, I'm listening to you in the county jail, and I want to donate $100 because I listen to you all the time. You're inspiring to me. And this is a brother incarcerated in jail and in this colonial system. And so it means so much to so many different people, Brandon. It really does. And I also want to add, Brandon, that if for your listeners and people that are watching, I'm 100% blind. I don't know if you have that up. I'm 100% blind. So to say that, I want to say that because I want people to know that blind people, you know, I'm like the beacon of light for other people to see that a station manager, a guy that's blind could be a station manager. A guy that's blind can do other things like ordinary people, but I should be the poster child for people that are getting up saying, I can't make it in the morning. I'm finding it hard to do, and I'm finding it hard to live in life, and so much going on in our world. And then they turn on the radio, BP96, and they hear the blind man say, I'm the world's best blind DJ. I don't see nothing, but I feel everything. I feel you should get up and do what you need to do in this world, in this life, giving other people just hope. That this station means that to a lot of people.
Absolutely, Uhuru. Yeah. And I always hear like the most incredible stories of the community, you know, coming out and supporting. But kind of what you were getting at, I wanted to maybe go a little further. Mr. Eddie, like how did you get your start with Black Power 96? Do you mind talking a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, you know, before I came to BP96, I was a street musician, blind, 100% blind. I lost my sight at the age of 11, but I heard about Stevie Wonder used to sing on the street corner as a young man. And so at the age of 23, I got my guitar and came downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, in a store called McCoy's. I went inside and I asked a white guy, I said, hey, I knew he was going to say no, but he didn't. Just like the solidarity movement, they understand. This brother understood my struggle of trying to just live, being 23 years old, trying to provide for myself. He said, go outside, sing as long as you want, how much as you can, do what you. And I did that for 35 years. And when I turned about 50-something years old, I'm 61 now, I said to myself and I said to the Lord, I said, God, what am I going to do? I'm getting older. I can't continue to sing outside in the streets as a street musician because I can't, the wind is not there for me to sing for sun up and sun down. And because I used to do that. I used to get there at 9 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't leave till 5 p.m., sung all day long I would sing. And so I asked God, what would I do? And here comes Black Power. I heard about this radio station in 2017 coming to St. Petersburg, Florida. So I came and say, hey, can I be a DJ? I know it's something I can do. And they gave me a chance. And I went from DJing 2.5 years later for assistant manager. 2 more years after that, went to manager. And even, Brandon, when I got to assistant manager, I doubted my own self. And I'm going to show you the power of Black Power. The power of God can move in anybody's life. Because I doubted myself. Okay, Eddie, you're assistant manager, but you're blind. That's all. You can't be a manager, you're a director or anything like that. This is far as you're going to go. And lo and behold, 2.5 years later, got a call from Deputy Chair, President of the African People's Education and Defense Fund and Black Power Blueprint, said, yes, we want you to be, we love your vision, a blind man. We love your vision. We want you to be station manager. So many things I could say about how this station is moving in not only my life, and other people's life.
Uhuru, thank you for that, Mr. Eddie. And I just want to point out, you mentioned, the solidarity member in your story. And it's, like as a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee, it is because of the perspective, provided by the African People's Socialist Party and like our leadership that, we're able to be in this position and able to, contribute to things like this. So I really want to salute Chairman Amalia Shatella for that. And I just want to, thank you so much, Mr. Eddie Maltzby. I think we've got some more questions for you here in just a little bit, but I do want to call on everybody listening. This is everything Mr. Eddie just talked about. This is why, we want to support this station. Like there is no other station in the United States, in the world, like Black Power 96 Radio. So please go to blackpower96.org/donate. And I also actually we have some give backs, some thank you gifts for anybody contributing during this July fund drive. Can we open up that? Yeah, right there. Awesome. So yeah, again, blackpower96.org/donate. Or if it is more convenient, you can open up Cash App, $ Black Power 96 and contribute right now. Next slide. So you can also tune in wherever you are located. Stream blackpower96.org, so you can stream it right from the website, or you can get the mobile app at the Apple App Store or Google Play. So listen wherever. And there is the Cash App, the website, and if you're old fashioned, if you want to mail out a check, there is the address right there, Black Power 96 at 1245 18th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33705. Next slide. Special thank you to everyone, and here are the give backs right here. All donors. So if you contribute, $1 to $100 to $1,000, you get a custom Black Power 96 magnet. So Uhuru. Next slide. Give $50 today, or become a monthly sustainer at $5 or more. And this is a special give back, for this episode, for the viewers today. The first one to give $50 or become a monthly sustainer of $5 a month or more will get an Uhuru Planet, drop the charges against the Uhuru 3 tote bag. The definition there's a little off, but it's the drop the charges tote bag. So let people know that you're part of the Uhuru 3 fight back. Then give $100 today or $10 a month, become a sustainer. You get the Black Power 96 cooling headband, and you can wear that out and really show off your support for this, incredible institution. Next slide. Give $300 today, or if you become a $25 a month monthly sustainer, that's less than $1 a day. You can get the Black Power 96 t-shirt and wear that out and really show your support. So and get a lot of questions and show people the greatest radio station in the world. So next slide. Uhuru, and this is just thanking all of our sustainers, and all the supporting members are right up there in that big beautiful heart. So thank you all for your support, any that might be listening right now. So Uhuru, and there is the website and the Cash App and the address to mail those checks. Okay. Thank you very much. And I do just want to point out, Black Power 96, like we've talked about, it is a community funded radio station. So your support is what makes Black Power 96 possible. That is how Black Power 96 stays on the air. That's how it's able, how we're able to, to provide these programs and create, such incredible content. So, but moving on, so keep going to blackpower96.org/donate and contributing, and you can do that all month, not just today, not just during this show, but the whole month to be a part of this fight back. But right now, we actually want to talk a little bit about that fight back. So this, for anyone that doesn't know, this is the struggle that Black Power 96 is waging with the Pinellas County Commission, and I want to bring up Sandy. Welcome, Sandy. So you volunteer to help write grants for Black Power 96, and a little bit of background on this. In November of 2022, Black Power 96 Radio was approved for a grant that it had applied for, but then a couple months later, just before these funds were distributed, that approval was revoked. Can you tell us more about that, and about the grants that the station applied for, and this ongoing struggle for that funding?
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for having me on today.
Absolutely.
Brendan and Chairwoman Penny. And before I do talk about the grant, I just want to join in a salute of Mr. Eddie, the station manager, because he didn't even get into some of the stuff that he does. Absolutely blows my mind. It's just the real genius of the African working class. He being 100% blind, yet he organizes entire benefit concerts for the station. He books the venue. He books the artists. He gets the flyers and the tickets done. He organizes the whole thing. He gets people to take stuff out. And during the pandemic, when the in-person concerts were not happening and the station moved to an online forum, he was able to book big names from Mr. Eddie's bold. He just calls up. He got a contact for Gerald Alston from the Manhattans. He called up, won him to participate and contribute a performance to an online benefit concert for the station. And recently has his gospel program is now being aired on a station a network out of Chicago, and he organized a cross sharing of programs between this Chicago station, and he goes out and wins business supporters. People, part of the station's fundraising is through underwriting from local businesses, and it's a way that small local family neighborhood businesses in the African community there in St. Pete can get airtime on the radio, which would otherwise be completely unaffordable. And he makes that happen too. So just really salute to Mr. Eddie.
I do also want to point out, like, while Mr. Eddie might host 3 shows, he organizes like has some part in organizing all the shows. Make sure, we're all on the same page, and, we have the meetings and everything. And can't shout out Mr. Eddie enough.
Yeah.
So
I did to talk about the struggle for resources for the station and for the struggle with the local county commission there. I have some slides if I could share that.
Yeah, definitely.
Slides for this. So as you mentioned, and I do also just want to salute Onizene Ishitela, who's the president of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, that is the nonprofit that operates this station. So just her, if you go in the station, I mean, her general strategic, brilliant leadership, and also just great style. Because if you go in the station and you see how beautiful it looks, she did that. She made it. She just made everything, vibrant and amazing. So salute to that. That is the kind of African leadership and genius that I know I am honored to follow and get behind. So yeah, the station did apply for some COVID relief funds. And these were funds that are designated for nonprofits who suffered a negative economic impact from the pandemic. And it's federal money, and Black Power 96 applied, but it's administered by the county. Black Power 96 applied for grants in 2 categories. One grant for equipment to upgrade the studio and transmitter operations, computers to expand the station's free training program and support Mr. Eddie with accessibility tools, and then a second grant to get a power generator, because South St. Pete, I mean, between the hurricanes and the failure of the county and the city and to invest in strong infrastructure, the power is always going out in South St. Pete. And of course, there's hurricane season. So this is really important. And the station applied for these grants. The grants were evaluated by an independent review board of the Pinellas Community Foundation, and they ranked the station's application as 4th highest in each category out of scores of applicants, and recommended that Black Power 96 would receive a combined total of over $100,000 in these federal funds. But then in February of 2023, a newly elected county commissioner, Chris Lotvola, launched an effort to withhold the federal funds for which Black Power 96 has qualified. And he said that the county should never fund Black Power 96 Radio or the African People's Education and Defense Fund because of its association with the Uhuru movement. And so then 5 days later, without any notice or due process, they revoked the first funding. And then in June of 2023, they took the vote on the generator funding and they denied that. And they gave all kinds of reasons. If they tried to cover up the fact of the discrimination against the African People's Education and Defense Fund by saying, oh, it's anti-Semitic. Oh, they're running candidates, which of course they're not. African People's Education and Defense Fund is not running candidates. That would be illegal. It's a 501c3.
Yeah.
The Uhuru movement may be, but African People's Education and Defense Fund has a right of association. And I'm sure, everybody sitting on that council and all the nonprofits who got funding, they might be members of the Democratic Party. They might be supporters of the Republican Party.
Exactly.
Whatever, you have associations. That's supposed to be your constitutional right. So, and then they said, oh, the grant is not going to meet the qualification of remedying a negative economic impact from COVID. But the reviewers specifically highlighted and said, yes, good job of demonstrating that negative economic impact. So they just came with all kinds of reasons. They also at one point said, oh, the generator is going to fund other groups because there's a variety of groups that rent space at the Uhuru House. You've got families who do their wedding receptions and repasts and all kinds of things in Aquaba Hall. You've got groups, both profit and nonprofit, who rent the commercial kitchen. It's what they call a food. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how is none of that, like, I feel like that's totally contradicting what they just said about, not addressing a need. Like, communities need places like this, like, community spaces, community kitchens. Like, that's really important.
Yeah, exactly. And all of those things got hit hard by COVID. I mean, people couldn't hold their events there, so the rentals weren't happening. A lot of the local businesses got shut down, so the underwriting program came back. The concerts that the station was having, there was clear demonstration that COVID had hit the station and APDF hard.
Yeah.
So, so it was it's just a complete violation of the First Amendment because they based it all on the state, the nonprofits association with the Uhuru movement, which it has a right to do, even though it is an independent nonprofit organization that should be considered on its own work and its own merits. And Black Power 96 is proud of its association with the Uhuru movement and has a constitutional right to associate. But if you look at some of the things that these commissioners talked about, they said, yeah, we didn't like what they did back in 1996 after Tyrone Lewis, 18 years old, was shot and killed. He was, in a traffic stop. He's an unarmed Black motorist. Huge rebellions in the city of St. Pete. And following the rebellions, the Uhuru House, where Black Power 96 is now located, hosted a series of community meetings, and Uhuru leaders voiced the community demands for an end to police violence. And as a result, St. Pete announced its first Black police chief, who put the department in check. He blocked the incursion by the county sheriffs into the Black community. He said, look, we got it. You don't need to come in, because the sheriffs, Pinellas County is a majority white county. Even St. Petersburg is a majority white city, but what they call North County, that's not St. Petersburg, is almost all white, and the sheriffs are hostile. And as a result of the advocacy that the Uhuru movement did, the Black police chief was emboldened to say, look, we're not going to allow mistreatment of citizens. And for 8 years, there was no police killings of Africans. So I guess the county didn't like that. They want more police killings.
I would like to point out that is also an incredible community service.
Right?
So you're putting a pause on police violence for that long.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But instead, so after that 8 years, when that police chief left, and then the next one opened the door for, okay, sheriffs, come on back in and you can police St. Pete, then African children started getting killed by the sheriffs.
Jeez.
And 17-year-old Marquel McCullough 18-year-old Gerald Walker, shot in the back, sleeping on his couch by
Jesus.
Pinellas Sheriff. The 3 teenage Black girls, people might be familiar with their case, 15 and 16 years old, chased by Pinellas sheriffs, driven into a lake, and the sheriff stood and watched them drown. And that ARPA fund, the COVID money that they don't want Black Power 96 to have, they gave $9 million of it to the sheriffs.
Wow.
So this is what the county stands for. And what don't they stand for? What don't they want to ever fund? They said APEDF, the African People's Education and Defense Fund. So we have a few slides for those who are watching on YouTube. I know this is airing both on the air and on the live stream, but APEDF, is building a strong Black community in St. Pete and in cities around the country. So, community gardens, book fairs, furniture stores, a doula training program for healthy moms and babies, a state-of-the-art basketball court in St. Louis where there were none. Yeah.
Which
this is what
the community response to the basketball court here in St. Louis and in the community garden and in the upcoming bakery and cafe is absolutely incredible, mind-blowing, because I mean it's in areas that the city government isn't doing anything for, and commissions like the Pinellas County Commission, they're not doing anything for those people. It's the Black Power Blueprint. It's APEDF that is stepping up and helping people. Like it is, is building these programs. So, and again, I want to encourage everybody to be a part of that and contribute. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. And this is what Pinellas County Commission said they don't ever want to give funding to. So, on the one hand, we're fighting to make them, taking them to court, and at the same time, we're gonna fund it.
Yeah.
Us, white people who know that we owe reparations and that this is the kind of programs that we want to support. We will fund it in the meantime as we're fighting for them.
Yes. Yeah, we don't need those funds, but those funds are owed.
That's right. That's right. And I have a few slides just talking about how that is the case in St. Pete. So I probably, my time is short, so I'll go quickly on that. But, the Black Power 96 radio station was built by Black workers. And we have some pictures of Africans up on the tower, the foundation, really built that. But that's not all. Black workers built all of Pinellas County.
Yeah.
So we have a picture of Africans. This is an old picture, 1921, I think, or 22. Africans grading the road for 4th Street North. And that's the main drag that runs from Pinellas County, Southside, all the way up into North County, Clearwater. And building the tourism economy, which is the core of the local economy, which means for Africans, low-wage labor, nursing home, picking the fruit, and even there have been Africans such as Elder Jordan who actually built public housing, gave land to the city, bailed out the city when they were broke during the Depression. And yet everything that Africans have built, whether 22nd Street South, what they call the Deuces, with all kinds of culture, the Royal Theater, destroyed to build a freeway. Then the gas plant community, which right now it's a huge fight in St. Pete. There was an African community that was torn down to build a sports stadium that Africans don't benefit from. And what we're seeing right now today is that the demographics of South St. Pete are shifting as the housing prices are going up. So Black workers built the county, but they're being driven out. The numbers of Black families that are in St. Pete is going down. And, first they come for the African community, but we better stand up for it because they're coming for everyone. The high rises, they're trying to turn St. Pete into another Miami or Palm Beach. And that's what they don't want Black Power 96 to talk about. So Black Power 96 speaks out against the gentrification. And Black Power 96 also defends the economic opportunity in the African community, and has spoken out about that. So what we saw the Pinellas County Commission do is part of an overall trend attacking the First Amendment and the right to freedom of speech and assembly, which is happening in a very big way in Florida. You know, the governor, Ron DeSantis, has banned banned books that talk about slavery because unless you got to show the other side about what's good about slavery, because we don't want the white children to feel bad. But no, we got to face the truth. And Black Power 96 speaks the truth. So we're in a legal fight to get that grant money back. In October of last year, attorney Luke LaRoe, on behalf of APEDF and Black Power 96, filed a federal lawsuit in Tampa, Florida, charging the Pinellas County Commission with violating the Black community's right, 1, to freedom of speech and freedom of association, 2, to no due process, because they did all these behind the scenes backroom dealings,
Right.
and 3, with racial discrimination. So, you know, we want to salute the attorneys, Luke and Rachel, for their work.
Yes.
This case is set to go to trial in February. And, you know, we believe if we fight this, we can win, because it's not only about the Black community's right to speak, although that, and right to association, although that on its own is we should
worth
stand
fighting.
for.
Yeah.
It's also for us to be able to hear that voice and to
Yes.
be able to understand, you know, what the African community is going for, and to be able to build a strong economy. So
Yeah,
really
and that-
hope that people will be generously and in a strong way supporting this radio station. And these politicians, we may hope, if this case is won, I'm going to force them to do the right thing. But whether they do or not, we will do the right thing.
Definitely. And yeah, I do want to emphasize that the perspective that the Black Power 96 provides is important. Uhuru, Chairwoman Penny.
Yeah, I mean, this is such an important struggle, and it's part of the overall attack that is coming down on the African liberation movement, the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Deputy Chair Onizine Yeshitela, that is fighting for power, fighting against colonialism, which is always about silencing the voice and even the economic ability of a people to live. And that's what this movement, that's what the chairman, that's what the party, African People's Socialist Party, is fighting against, and is fighting for power. And key to power is what the chairman calls anti-colonial free speech. The right of African and oppressed people here and around the world to articulate, to have the free speech, to say they need to be liberated. They need to have economic and political control over their lives. They need to have control over Africa and African people united around the world. And, you know, it's very powerful, and we have to fight this from the white community. We cannot allow, you know, if the voice of the African working class and the African People's Socialist Party is silenced, if they are successful in doing that, and the attack on the Uhuru 3, then they can do this to anyone. And we also have a responsibility to fight for the movement that has always led all progressive change in this country and around the world, for, you know, for white people and for everybody. So it's a very, very important struggle.
Absolutely. And I believe it was the chairman who said, you know, like, you might say, like, you know, oh, they can come for me next. Like, these are your rights too. If you know, they get away with infringing on chairman and the Uhuru 3's free speech, like, that's precedent. Then they've done that. So we can't allow it to happen.
We cannot. We're going to say more about that in a minute.
Yes. Sorry.
I think you're going to be thanking some of our donors.
Yes, I need to shout everybody out, because we've been seeing some incredible support. I do want to shout out Lisa for contributing, Janice, who is already a sustainer. So thank you so much, Janice. Janice in St. Pete. And then Jesse in St. Louis. Shout out to Janet, and of course MQ who is also a sustainer. Thank you so much, MQ out of
Great,
Florida.
MQ, yes.
So can always count on MQ being on these and showing just some really incredible support. So thank you, all of you, and to everyone else.
And where are we at? How much have what is our total? How much
So
more do we have to raise?
$375. Our goal is $1,000. And I do just want to emphasize that this is a month-long fundraiser. So it would be awesome if we can hit this $1,000 goal today.
We're going to.
But we can keep going. Like we can,
Yes.
we can
Yes.
raise another, however many thousand the rest of the month. Like, let's keep this going. And if you don't have the funds today and you want to, but you still want to contribute and you want to commit to that, feel free to put that in the chat. Just say, like next Friday, I'll put in, $25 to Black Power 96. So, and again, that link, blackpower96.org/donate. So go contribute. And I will get a little bit more into that and thinking any new donors here in just a second. But I did want to talk to Mr. Eddie a little bit about this struggle. And Mr. Eddie, so when this all got started, you were involved in organizing people to sign a petition that the station had created. Can you tell us about the petition and what kind of response you got?
Well, a great response. I thought it would be nice for people to come in and sign it. The people are the power. No matter what you're doing and wherever you are, if you get the people behind you, then you can change some things. And that's what's happening in our world and our society now. Even when they attacked the White House, you saw a lot of people getting together and attacking the White House. It's power in people. It's power in numbers. And so they came out there, and I always say when I'm raising funds, I use a term on the radio. I say, come on by, don't drive by, you stop by. 1245 18th Avenue South. Get out your car and come to the double doors. I say, bang, bang, nah. When I open the door, you should say time to support. And so people come by, and I say that little phrase, and they come by, but they genuinely stand behind this station. Because of the other reasons I told you earlier, it means so much to different people. And so when they found out about the attack on this radio station and on this, and let's be clear about this. This is just not an attack on the radio station. This is an attack on the Black community. It's an attack on our race as Black people. It's an attack on African people. It's an attack on the movement. And anytime you attack one, you attack all. There's no way around that. If you attack one Black man, you attack every Black man. So there's no way around that. And the people are the power. So they came out and they signed over about 700 petitions were signed by this radio station. And that's a hell of a lot of people from a radio station here in St. Petersburg, Florida, on the ground. But yes, Brandon and Penny Hess, the people are the power. It used to be a phrase back in the days in the early 60s called power to the people. And that's what you have to do. You have to connect with the people, unite the people, uniting with this, whatever you got going on. And for this radio station, we talked about it, the grave disparities in education for African people, because we got to make it clear, let it be known that the capitalism system, this colonial system, does not give ample information to African people. They're going to only want to give them what they want to know or hear or program an African man. That's what they have always done from the beginning of slavery. Brought you over from Africa and said, you can't talk. If you do talk, we're going to kill you. We're going to hang you. If you try to learn, pick up a book and try to read the book, you would be killed or assassinated or hung. And they made examples out of Black people because they took a Black man and they took his arms, tied it to a horse, and took his legs and tied it to another horse and shot off guns in the air so that the Black man could be separated apart from his ribs in a way to destroy in front of family members, in front of his kids and wife, to say, this is what will happen to your child or your kid. It is so much been done to African people. And this radio station has a powerful voice in making sure that story is being told. This radio station makes sure that the African community, and if you're a black man, you're African, that they know the story of Family Haman. They know, never forget, Martin Luther King got shot in the head. And when the guy shot him in the head, it wasn't shooting him in the head to be shot in the head. It was shooting him in the mouth because he was talking too much. Freedom of speech. He got shot in the head. It was designed to be shot in the mouth.
Yeah, political
violence.
violence.
No mistake of that. Yes, make no mistake. And Black Power radio station is going to continue to have people knock, bang on the door, support it because they love the station. And anybody that's listening, it's a song by Stevie Wonder that said, "That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for." Keeping this station going. And I'm calling out all of you all that are listening. You know, the world's best blind DJ. I don't see nothing, but I feel everything. And I feel you should be donating. Several ways to do that. Donate, like Brandon said, to blackpower96.org/donate. But a lot of people are using Cash App. I don't know your Cash App, but our Cash App is $ Black Power 96. 5 or 10. Be a friend. 20, as a black community would say, drop a dub. That's $20. Show some love and do what you can while you can, because tomorrow may not be a Black Power radio station the way things are going in this colonial system. So we are fighting back. We're fighting to keep this station going. And Brandon and Penny, if we don't fight back, then it's business as usual.
Right.
To the black community. And we want to
can't allow that. We can't allow business as usual. So, Uhuru.
Exactly.
Uhuru.
We can't do that. Uhuru. And Vanguard up, Brandon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Vanguard up. Uhuru, Mr. Eddie. And I do want to remind everyone, you know, if you're hearing this, you know, like we're live right now, but if you're listening to this later, it's not too late to donate. So, you know, just go to that website, blackpower96.org/donate, and, you know, and be a part of this fight back. Okay. And now, Uhuru, and now I do want to talk a little bit more about what Chairwoman Penny was bringing up just a little bit ago. Chairwoman, you were one of the Uhuru Three that you were mentioning earlier, and the Uhuru Three are made up of you know, Chairman of the African People's Socialist Party, Omali Yeshitela, Chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, Jesse Neville, and yourself. The Uhuru Three have been indicted by the U.S. government on bogus charges of acting as agents of Russia, which is a little wild when, you know, we've been talking about the history of the chairman in this movement, which has been going on for over 52 years. And for those just not familiar with this case, can you kind of give everyone a bit of a summary about this case against the Uhuru Three and what's happening with it now?
Great. Well, thank you. And again, and I really want to salute Eddie Maltzby. Very inspiring, your statements and just your fight for Black Power 96. And Brendan, I want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who is my leadership, from whom I have learned everything that I know about the world and how to understand it and how things got to be the way they are. And I also want to join in saluting Deputy Chair Onizene Yeshitela, who is the president of APEDF and who has done, as has said, you know, brought so much beauty and vision to not only the radio station, but you know, at least 50 other on the ground programs and projects of the African People's Socialist Party and Uhuru movement. And we were talking a little bit before about the Black Power Blueprint, this incredible program that is doing so much in the African community of North St. Louis right now. And this is why the African People's Socialist Party has come under attack. They're not just talking about things, they're doing things. And the chairman has led a brilliant and fearless movement that of African people around the world, and in unity with oppressed and colonized and freedom-loving people throughout the US and throughout the world. And the chairman has traveled the world with the message of solidarity with other revolutionary movements and peoples, but also building support for the struggle, the legitimate struggle against colonialism of African people right here inside the US. And so the US government has, as you said, has in fact rated it in 2022. Let's see, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2022. The FBI and the police conducted raids, pre-dawn raids in 2 cities, in St. Louis and St. Petersburg, Florida, of 7 homes and properties of the Uhuru movement, including the Uhuru House here and the home of Chairman Omali Shatella and Deputy Chair Onizine Shatella, bringing them down the stairs at gunpoint and handcuffing them and telling them to sit on the sidewalk, just although they weren't under arrest. It was these raids. My home was also raided, also Jesse Neville and Amanda Carlazzi and my roommate Kitty Riley. I mean, but this is what the that the US government has done to the African liberation movement historically. And it's something that is, by saying that somehow Chairman Omali Shatella, after being a lifelong activist for African liberation since the 1960s, somehow became a Russian agent in 2014, which is absolutely absurd. It is also profoundly racist in that it denies the agency of African people to lead their own struggle, when in fact, as we said, the African liberation movement has led this struggle and every struggle in this country and really in the world in so many ways. So, so what is happening is then last year, 3 people were indicted, and we're clear that the chairman, Omali Shatella, is the main target of this indictment, but also myself, as the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, the organization of white people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, and Jesse Neville, who is the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, with members in the white community working for reparations to African people in about 130 cities inside the US. And so, just the importance of this movement, and clearly attempting to silence the voice of the chairman and silence the voice of white people who recognize and carry out reparations, returning the stolen resources of African people, back to the African Revolution, trying to silence that, and saying that we're under indictment, and now we are facing trial at this time beginning on September 3rd in Tampa, Florida. And as the chairman has said, that this is happening in a time of profound turmoil in the whole world. And certainly here inside the US, you just need to read the headlines or barely glance at them and see, all of the kind of turmoil and different kinds of struggles that are going on inside the US, and certainly in occupied Palestine and throughout Africa and throughout the world. So, this is the period that this is happening in. It is also not new. There were very similar charges kinds of attacks by the US government all the way back against W.E.B. Du Bois, Paul Robeson, back in the 1920s and 30s, and also, you know, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, all of the ways that this government has worked to assassinate the leaders and, you know, bring about COINTELPRO, the attacks on the African liberation movement of the previous period. But they are not going to win. And, you know, the party has built the Hands Off Uhuru Fight Back Coalition, which is strong, which literally has hundreds of members and supporters, which has been responsible for raising over $300,000, almost $300,000 for legal fees, and which is leading the struggle to build a major mobilization here in St. Petersburg on August 31st, and to go into the trial and force them to dismiss it by them the government being able to see the massive support for the Uhuru movement that's out there. So, you know, this is an incredible fight back. Scores and scores, even hundreds of people and organizations are standing with the Uhuru movement. We are going to win. We're going to push this state attack through, as Comrade Eddie Maltby said, through the power of the people.
Yes.
And the brilliant leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela and, you know, and taking on this fight back that we are winning. And also want to salute Chair of the Hands Off Uhuru, Chair Mawezi Odom, and all of the others who are part of it. Let me just say one more thing. If you want to know everything about this case, you can even read the legal documents. You can see all of the webinars that we have taken on at handsoffuhuru.org.
Uhuru. Thank you, Chairwoman Penny. And I'll say, as Mr. Eddie said, you know, as people say, power to the people, but the people is where the power is. So Uhuru, thank you so much. And I know we're running out of time, but I do also want to point out that APEDF, on the day of these raids, APEDF and, you know, under President Onazene's leadership, successfully concluded a doula training program the same day while these raids were happening.
Absolutely.
Really incredible leadership. And, you know, this just shows the nonsense of both the attack on the Uhuru 3 and the Pinellas County attack. You know, this APEDF, that's, you know, this is an organization that's really working for the people, Uhuru. And I do want to thank our donors again. We are at $675. So we are just $325 away from our goal. If we could pull up the give backs one more time. I just want to talk about those real quick, and then I think we'll probably close out. But yeah,
Brendan, I can get us up to the next mark of. I can put in. I want to pledge to another 25.
Uhuru, there we go. So there we go.
And we do need to read our donors.
Yes, yeah, and I'll do that right now. So we've got Lisa from Minneapolis. And you know, I've pledged $200. You know,
all right.
This means a lot to me. And you know, Janice, who's already a sustainer, donated $50. Jesse out of St. Louis, $25. Janet, $50. MQ, $50. That not a new one. Those are ones from earlier. But then Lisa, $100. Penny, Chairwoman Penny, $100. And as Sandy just said, $25. So we are at $700. We just need 300 more to hit our goal today. And then we can start raising another 1,000 before the end of the month. So we'll go through these thank yous now. You know, to anyone who donates, you will receive a custom Black Power 96 magnet. You know, just any amount, all of it supports Black Power 96. Next slide. $50 today, or become a monthly sustainer at $5 a month or more, and you will get a Uhuru Planet Drop the Charges tote bag. So you can show your support for this fight back wherever you go. Next slide. So give $100 today or $10 a month, and receive this cooling headband. You can wear out on your morning walks or your morning runs, and show that you support the voice of the Black liberation struggle. Then $300 today or $25 a month, Black Power 96 t-shirt that you can wear everywhere. So show your support for Black Power 96, and look great doing it. So Uhuru, everybody. So we are running short on time. I did want to ask all of our guests, as well as my co-host, for any parting words, anything else that you want to say to our listeners today. Mr. Eddie.
Yes, Brandon. I just want them to really know how much this station really means to the people, because we can't do it without it. It's a non-commercial station. It's a non-profit station. It's solely funded by the people. We cannot do it without the people. So it's only funded by them. And it's something I say all the time. Some stations sound Black. They do. We are Black. Black owned, Black funded, Black people united. Just want to say that and tell people to donate. Donate. That's the only way we're going to stay above float, if people come together and get united with us. You're correct.
Uhuru. Yes, thank you, Mr. Eddie, and thank you so much for joining us today. Sandy, did you have anything you wanted to say before we finish up?
Well, I just really appreciate this program, Reparations in Action. I think I've listened to all the episodes that are up on the podcast and on the air. Really great, the White Lies Shattered series, and to be able to hear the theory from Chairwoman Penny, who has brought African internationalism into the white community. It's an honor to be on here. And Black Power 96 is, as you said, it is very unique, important institution.
One of a kind.
To have the media of the African working class. And so really urge everyone to give generously, contribute, and keep this station growing and strong.
Uhuru, thank you so much. And thank you for being on to talk about the Pinellas County Fight Back. And I do want to shout out MQ again.
All right, MQ.
$50 donation. We are at $750. So $250 more. If you get it in the next few minutes, we will be sure to shout you out. If not, we're definitely going to hit the our goal and definitely surpass our goal before the end of the month. So thank you, everybody. And then Chairwoman Penny, would you like to give us some words to close out on?
Uhuru, well, again, it has been an honor to be able to be here today, and really want to salute Mr. Eddie Maltzby and very inspiring words that you left us with, and what this means, what this station means. It is the African community. It is the voice of the African working class. It's an honor to be under the leadership of Chairman Omali Shatella, Deputy Chair Onizane Shatella, and know that it's powerful to be on the winning side, and know that when we say reparations to the African community, we're talking about a positive stand that enables white people for the first time in history to join the peoples on the planet Earth, make our self-criticism for the terror, that we have been part of, carried out for our government against African people and the people on the planet, and to be able to be on the winning side of history. So I'm very, very honored to be here today. This has been a very exciting show.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman Penny. I want to thank you, as well as all of our special guests today, and thank everyone tuning in and donating at blackpower96.org/donate. That concludes this special episode of Reparations in Action. You can tune in to Black Power 96 Radio during our regular show times, Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern, and listen to past episodes on demand at uhurusolidarity.podbean.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Yeah.